I guess, Brad, can you talk us through the reasoning and rationale behind the decision to rest the players?
Oh, it's pretty simple. I mean, firstly, we've earned the right to play in the finals, and that's been a really hard-fought battle. We've had to win 7 of our last 8 to get ourselves into this position, and we've got some players who have been battling to get to the line each week, and so some of them are battling a little bit, and so we've got the opportunity to rest them and to let them freshen up and get over their little niggles in preparation for our finals assault next week. And on the flip side, I mean, we've also got some players who have been banging the door down in the VFL who have been just absolutely waiting for an opportunity, and they get their opportunity this week. And we started the year with 39 players on our list who had played AFL footy. So this Friday night we'll go out with a team without a single debutant. 2/3 of our list and our team on Friday night will have played over 50 games. So I don't think anyone should be under any illusions as to our intention with the result tomorrow night. We're going out to win the game. So there's absolutely no doubt about that, but I make no apologies for the fact that I'm going to do the best thing by our club, the best thing by our players, the best thing by our team and our supporters, and that is to be in the best possible shape we can be in the first week of finals.
You worried about flirting with form?
No, not at all, because we've got players who are being left out for a specific reason. So to play them would be to their detriment, and we've got other players who are in really good form at the lower level who get their opportunity. So we've got a lot of players playing for a spot in a final side. We've got some players potentially playing for their career. So the hunger and the want to win the game is in absolutely no doubt. And we're a competitive football club. We expect to win the game tomorrow night. Now, are we putting ourselves at a disadvantage with our selection? Potentially. But we've earned the right to play finals, and we'll do everything we can to be in the best shape for a finals assault.
So what do you say to the critics that say there's problems with integrity and that sort of thing?
Oh, if the AFL had an issue with integrity, and we've kept them in the loop with the potential of this move from right at the start of the week, so they're well aware of why the players who are missing are going to miss, and they've ticked it off. So, there is absolutely no issue with integrity whatsoever. If people are silly enough to bet on the game before the teams have come out, then that's their problem, not mine.
Supporting an away final in Adelaide, Brad, no factor in the decision?
Well, look, I'm not too concerned about any other team this week, but what I will say is I don't see how that scenario would play out anyway. The people who and it's insulting to think we're trying to lose the game. We're not. And it would be pretty stupid to go out and lose a game and then have the Gold Coast beat Sydney and then us play an interstate final. So that hasn't entered our thinking. It's purely been around what is best for our club, what is best for our list, and what's best for the individual players.
Is the danger that a player that misses out could lose his spot for somebody who comes in and actually plays well? Will you have a lot of players who say, I actually don't want to sit out the game?
No, we did. We had, because players are always fearful of their spot, and possession's generally 9/10 of the law. So they're well aware that some players might come in and play really well, and the team plays really well, and it makes it hard to make changes back the other way. So that's a potential risk. But I think probably one of the most important points to make on this move is that history is not necessarily a predictor of the future, but you do learn some lessons from history. And in 2012, I made a massive blue in hindsight where we'd secured a final spot. We were travelling up to play GWS in the last round of the year. I didn't rest anyone. I played players who had niggles. I played players who were overly fatigued. And then we proceeded to travel to West Coast the next week and get absolutely obliterated. And I swore to myself then that if we're in that same position, I wouldn't make the same mistake. And so I'm not going to make that same mistake this year. And it's probably lost on a lot of people that we left 5 or 6 players out, or 4 to 6 players out, round 23 last year. So this year's no different. The thinking is the same, and we make no apologies for launching assault on a final series. That being said, we have every intention of winning the game tomorrow night.
Can you tell us which players you're considering resting?
Yeah, 6:30 tonight, I'll tell you. I reckon we've already told Richmond enough.
Well, if Todd Goldstein doesn't play and Brownlow medal final round, he misses out by a vote or something like that, no problems with that?
Look, it just goes to show that we'll do the best thing by the team no matter what. I mean, individual things don't come into calculations. It's always what's best for the club. It's what's best for our supporters, and all our supporters, if they could trade the opportunity for some ultimate success versus an individual accolade, I think I know which one they'd choose.
Should you have to seek AFL approval, or should it just be up to the club to decide who they play?
Oh, well, as I said, I mean, if people are silly enough to bet on the game before the teams have come out, that's their prerogative, and they run that risk. We think that the best approach is to be open and upfront, and we've been upfront since early Monday morning with the AFL as to the potential of this happening, without any guarantees, and we've kept them in the loop all the way through. We've even gone to the point of detailing exactly why players who won't play, why they're not playing. So, I mean, I think open and honest is best. There's nothing to hide here. There's nothing to keep secret. I mean, it would be a different story if we pulled out a third of our team on Friday night. But we're being open and upfront. So anyone who thinks there's an integrity issue is on the wrong track.
Do you have any concerns that if the result doesn't go your way and you play the Tigers then in the first week of the finals, which is highly likely, that there's a problem with confidence for the squad?
Oh, that's a risk we're prepared to take. We think that we've got a mature list. We think we've got a deep list. We want to find out a couple of things about a couple of players and give them the opportunity to put their hand up to play. Look, and the scenario for us is that we've got some players come in and we think, gee, he's actually right at the level, and we find a player going into the first week of the finals, and then we've got a really tough decision at match committee. So it's all about having the best possible list to pick from in the best possible physical shape.
Any update, Brad, on Daniel Wells' injury?
Yeah, 1 week we're expecting, Nick. We think that we know he won't play this week, and we're expecting him, where he'll be winning in the finals, to play the week after.
Do you have to think about ruling a line through him, or do you just sort of give him every chance to come back?
Oh no, we'll give him every chance all the way through. We've maintained right from the outset of his initial injury that we give him every chance, and he's still training really hard. He still has an expectation of playing, and while his mind's still willing and there's still a chance, then he'll keep working as hard as he can, and we'll give him every chance.
Lindsay Thomas, Luke McDonald, expecting them to be available this week?
Luke McDonald will play, Lindsay won't. Again, Lindsay, and this just again goes to the integrity issue. I mean, we really want Lindsay to play this week. He missed last week, but he's required some significant treatment to get up for games up until this point, and he hasn't trained well enough to get up to play Friday night, much to our disappointment. So he won't play, and I've maintained all year that we want to play players at 100% fitness or very close to it, and he's not 100%, so he won't play, and we're hoping he'll be available for selection next week.
Were there a couple of players that were particularly disappointed that really wanted to play and you had to really, coerce them into this?
Yeah, not coerce them. I mean, footballers are footballers. They want to play. I mean, they don't want to. We have players who just get over some really significant injury issues to get up and play each week, and we laud them for that. Sometimes they need to be protected from themselves, and we had to win 7 and 8 to get ourselves, or 7 of 8 to get ourselves into this position. And now that we're in this position, we'll do the best thing by the players, and sometimes they need to be protected from themselves.
Thanks, Bertie.